What's up, everybody? You're back in here with the Pro Football Pod. You've got Hulk, you've got Coach. We're hanging out with you guys. We appreciate you dropping in. The Fantasy Football for Dummies playlist continues to roll on here. We're diving into trades. What's the bottom line of trades? How to win your trade? How to know somebody's trying to railroad you in a trade? We're getting into all of that for you. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button down there below. Once we hit 500 subscribers, that bare minimum benchmark, we're going to go ahead and give away one free jersey to one of you lucky viewers, whether it be a custom jersey, throwback jersey. We're willing to do it for you guys. We appreciate you. What's up, Coach? You ready to, help people out here? Some rookies diving in?
Yeah, man. Trading is selling. You gotta buy low and sell high. It's the real deal to the whole thing. It's really, really easy to get bent over in a trade because you feel like you trust and like the people in your league, and they would never do anything to screw you over intentionally.
No. Yeah.
But that's what they're all gonna do. They're all just trying to get way more value than they need because no one thinks truly that they have the best team in the league. Even if they do, they always know that there's room to improve. If they can get a couple of players that make it to where nobody can touch their roster, their chance of winning the championship is that much better. So you have to look out for bad trades. And we're going to give you some things to look out for.
90% of people in your leagues will send you nothing but bad trades. I laugh at more trades I receive than anything. Because like you said, most people are trying to get a leg up. They want to get what you have, but they don't want to give anything that might possibly help you. So finding a win-win of a trade it's almost an artwork. And like you said, you're selling.
Yeah.
You're trying to plead your case as to why you feel the trade is strong.
If you ever hear somebody say, I don't even know why I'm making this trade, it really helps you way more than it helps me, then stop making that trade. That's a telltale sign that you're getting boned right now.
Please send them LOL and then reject the trade.
Yes.
That's it.
Another thing, I think that it's a good not to make the first trade that gets offered to you. Whenever a trade is offered, it is likely not a fair trade right away. They are only giving you the piece of information of these are players that I'm trying to get rid of, but more importantly, this is what I want from your team. And you can take that information, look at their roster, and maybe find some players that they don't necessarily want to get rid of. But if you're getting rid of a position that you don't need, that's valuable to them, to then get something that you do need that's not valuable to them, that's how you get a win-win trade.
Exactly. And the thing with trades as well is on the flip side of that, when offering a trade, you're not wanting to come across, obviously, as that you're clearly trying to railroad them on your side. However, you don't want to oversell your trade. You don't want to throw in a player because, this might go ahead and get the trade through for sure.
Not yet. Leave some wiggle room.
We're not trying to play against the Madden computer, like their trade algorithm. You're playing a human being, and there more often than not, there's plenty of times where you'll throw a third guy into the trade, and they would have done it for the first two.
Exactly. You don't want to give up more value than you have to. Now, in the past 3 to 5 years or so, because of fantasy football getting so big and so popular, there's been sources out there that you can go to that'll tell you a little bit of, is this fair or is this not? Before we give you guys the sources, I just want to say nobody knows what's going to happen on Sunday. Nobody knows if a player's going to get hurt or if a player's going to go for 1,500 yards and 24 touchdowns in a season. Nobody knows these things for sure. These are all estimates based off of, the numbers and the projections of what could potentially happen.
Another thing I like to do with trades, and this obviously is for, you diehards out there who you're just getting into fantasy football, but you love the NFL. And that's research. Look 4 or 5 weeks down the road at schedules and who teams are playing. And then that will give you leverage in trades to where you're trading for somebody that hasn't necessarily been doing very well, so you can get them for a low price. But that's because in about 4 or 5 weeks, their schedule gets very light and that production is going to shoot up. And all of a sudden, you have won a trade that it looked like you have completely lost. And that's just doing research and caring about the league that you're in.
A good example of the opposite of that, of trying to get rid of a player that has a very tough schedule. Last year, Tua Tagovailoa's schedule through the playoffs, the fantasy playoffs, was the 3 worst teams that he could possibly play.
I benched him on my Dynasty League.
Being able to trade for whoever has Tyreek Hill and maybe potentially get Dak Prescott, who had the easiest 3 games through the fantasy playoffs and ended up doing very well in all of those games. That's the types of plays that you want to look for. Keep Trade Cut is a great fantasy calculator, but looking at the actual schedules and looking deep into your platform, most platforms will give this player or this team versus quarterbacks is really, really bad or really, really good. So you want to find who has a lot of those good matchups, especially the fantasy playoffs. If you know that you're going to make it to the playoffs, even if you make it in the last possible position, it's better to have the best fantasy playoff team than it is to have the best regular season team. Regular season teams do not win every single time. Constantly, the first place, totally undefeated team loses in the first round of the playoffs because their team was having to play against a bunch of very difficult opponents that week, though the rest of the season was cake for them.
Yep. And that's where, if you go back and watch our previous videos in this series, or, you know, if, like I said, if you subscribe down below, watch our videos that were coming out. These are really just basic things that we're diving in on for you. And you're going to hear the same things in each video, simply of care about what you're doing, do the research, and pay attention. If you do those simple things, you will see yourself in multiple leagues and throughout the years making plays for the playoffs. And it's the same thing for the NFL. All you got to do is get in. Yep. There's been plenty of seasons where I've been the bottom seed in the playoffs, but I had a great playoff schedule and I was able to come out with a victory. And like, it's awesome. We love fantasy football. That's why we're doing these videos for you guys. Like he said, there's plenty of trade calculators out there that will help you. You've got keeptradecut.com. There's also a trade calculator on profootballnetwork.com. Hashtag no plugs, hashtag not sponsored. Just, you know, there's plenty of little avenues out there for you guys to help you. We're also here for you. Hit us up at @profootball_pod on Twitter. We'd love to help you guys out. Slide into the DMs, comment on one of our videos, comment on this video. We love you guys. We appreciate your time. 500 subscribers, we're giving away a free jersey to one of you lucky viewers. Stay tuned throughout the season as we give you weekly updates and drop some knowledge nuggets for you. TulsiRoseTea.com is the sponsor. Peace out.